This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not provide medical or legal advice. Please consult with a qualified professional before making any decisions regarding your health or legal situation.
On the subject of marijuana in particular. That is the purpose of this meeting, ladies and gentlemen, to lay the foundation for a nationwide campaign by you to demand by law such compulsory education.
High in the Ozark Mountains, it's the Greene County Podcast with Mike and Mason.
We're back.
We are back.
Casey's back with us.
Hey, welcome, Casey.
Thanks. She had so much fun talking about some of the new items you can buy in head shops that she decided to come back again to find out if there was any other toys that Mason has discovered.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding. Today's episode is actually going to be about where do you get your seeds, man?
Where do you get your seeds?
How many times since we've been growing for what, 3-4 years, 5 years, 10 years? Feels like
I don't know how long have they been doing medical.
I don't know. I can't count right now. I'm just
because that's when we started. We definitely didn't do it before it was illegal.
Let's just say several years. But one of the questions, that I had whenever I started, and that I get asked a lot whenever someone finds out that I cultivate, is where do you get your seeds?
Mm-hmm.
You want to go first?
Well, I can. How about I start and tell you where I got my first seeds for my first grow? In a random bag. I had a bag of like 20 seeds. I planted 5 of them. One of them was female. The rest were males, so I chopped those bad boys up, threw them away. And since then, I've been growing that one strain.
Nice.
And he's cloning it.
And I'm cloning it. So technically, where do I get my seeds?
You haven't had.
I don't. I got it once, and then I clone because that's the smart way to do it. But if you want other strains, I did buy some seeds too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So where do you get your strains?
Okay. So the guy who trained me on how to do this, which he will remain nameless, but he knows who he is. And big props to you, buddy. He's an old time hippie man, and
they're the best.
He'd been in it for a long time, but he very much was in the mindset that you really have to pay for the genetics. And there are guys. There's a dude on Facebook. I can't remember, Brother Mendez or Brother something.
Oh yes.
He has. I mean, some of these seeds are like $50 a shot, like for one, but. You see the photos of the genetics, and it's just like some of the trichomes. They've literally got like purple inside the trichome, purple lines, and I've never seen anything like that. They look like aliens, right? But again, like we talk about, there always is a price point for what you can want to spend and what you can get out of it. Yeah. So right out of the gate, the first thing that I did was the only place that I could find that sold them in the state of Missouri was in Cassville. So one day, the guy was like, 2-hour round trip to go get seeds. Was not happy with those genetics at all. Did not like it. I didn't think it just the whole process was mad. But when I was there, I asked her because I was like, I am not going to drive 2 hours round trip every couple months to do this. That's stupid. She told me about a guy online, Captain Redbeard, out of the Northwest, and awesome. Love his genetics. There have been some guys in town. I know grow shops. Unfortunately, one of them that did sell, they're no longer open harvest.
Oh yeah.
So that sucks. But they also had them. You technically, from what I understand, the legality of it is that they are novelty items, right? So that it's not like you're shipping a pound or a quarter pound of pot across the United States. Yeah. Usually they do it in discreet packaging. Some guys will send them in DVD
cases back in the day, in like a commemorative pin.
Yeah.
You remember those?
Well, and they always hook it up. They always get extras. And my grow that I'm about ready to chop or just did is an extra, and it turned out really, really well. The only problem is I forgot what the strain was. I was like diligent. Man. Like I would track everything for so long, watering newts, all the things, trimming, defoil, all that stuff. And then after a while, it becomes so ingrained as a habit. It's like every day I need to check, I need to do this. Okay, that's there. This is coming, blah, blah, blah. I don't even think about it anymore. So I've gotten kind of bad about knowing what it is. All I know is that it works.
It works, it smokes. It works, it smokes.
When we come back, we're going to ask Casey where she gets her seeds. Greene County Podcast. We are back, Green County Podcast. Casey in the studio, and Mason and I got a chance to talk about where we get our seeds. But Casey, have you ever grown before?
I like to unalive plants on accident.
Unalive plants on accident.
To be honest,
You need my strain.
Yeah.
It's impossible to kill.
Good.
I honestly, Casey, I felt the same way especially about growing stuff for the longest time, and give it a shot because it really is, and not only a cool hobby, but it's really hard to kill them.
See,
you really have to be lazy and extremely I forgot to water it for a week and a half.
He's just
negligent.
cutting
That's
deep
like-
right now.
Yeah.
You've never seen my poor house plants. Oh, it's fine. But no, I come from California, so I'm so used to everything just kind of thriving on its own, and then just making sure it's watered. But in the cannabis industry out there, I've seen outdoor grows that are beautiful, indoor grows to hydroponic grows out there in California, and then coming here, I've only been to one in big industry grow, and then just seen a couple different people's house ones. I eventually want to do that for sure. I finally have room to start, but I always get phone calls too, people asking me where to get seeds, and I would send them over to Harvest to kind of get them in the right direction. At least that would be a place that they would get all the supplies that they needed. And there's a couple other places around town that I would now send them to. But seeds, though, I want to learn where to get more seeds at for me, myself, and my customers. But another place that you would see seeds at, what do you guys think about finding seeds in your flower? If you buy some.
I found one. It was so long ago, though. It was right when recreational started. I found a seed in some strawberry banana or something. I am iffy on that because I like to buy my seeds feminized. I don't want to chance it.
Yeah,
I don't
big
have
time.
I don't have multiple areas where I can separate it so it doesn't pollinate accidentally. I need to make sure my stuff is feminized and or an auto because I like to do those too. So I would not grow a seed that I just randomly found anymore. I know I started that way, but I grew 5 plants to flower.
one that he figured out.
To find one,
yeah.
and that was such a waste of nutrients, time, and light energy.
Yeah,
it was
3 to 5 months time window to figure out if it's actually going to do what you want is way too much. And, and again, that goes back to what I said in the first segment, which is you're paying for the genetics. You know what I mean? And these breeders, those guys are hardcore about what they do, and it's always going to be they're my baby. The guy's got the best. It's always the best. But the proof is in the pudding. When you were in California, was because it's legal here. But there are places on the West Coast where they have literal farmers markets where you can go out and there's dudes that have tents set up with nothing but cuttings that you can buy.
See, the people that I knew actually grew for the dispensaries up there, so it was a way different ball game. It wasn't everything was all legal on their side because it was all for the dispensaries. So they had a lot more wiggle room. They never went to. I never got to go to any of the farmers markets and stuff out there. I've heard they have a couple out here. I haven't gotten to see any of those, but it'd be an interesting thing to check out.
So I did buy some autos a while back. I still have some seeds, and I was looking through my old orders, and Seedsman. Ever heard of Seedsman?
Yeah.
They're legit.
Yeah,
They're
I've gotten from Seedsman
every
before.
strain I've gotten from them is amazing. They also hook you up with some really good deals too on extra seeds. Buy 5, get a whole pack of 5 of something else. So I would throw that out there too.
Yeah, Seedsman's good. There's
I'm looking right now,
I'm
dude.
trying to say there was one in Norway or Holland or something
Dude, Alaskan diesel autos starting at $12
a piece.
Now, when you're starting your first seeds to start growing, what is the percentage that you think would pop?
Almost all of them.
Almost all? Okay.
Mostly, yeah.
It's never a question of popping if you do it right, unless the seed's extremely old.
I've had some problems with old seeds or autos.
Yeah, and
They
that's
get
just
weird.
a genetic thing. But typically, they almost always pop. What happens though is if you don't get them in soon enough, that pops period of time, which is a day or to 2 days, even hours sometimes. if you don't get them in that soil or root starter quick enough and moisted, they don't have enough energy to maintain to get up. So that's where I lose them. I don't lose them in the pop. I lose them in the
transfer.
That space of time where they're either going to go up or they're just going to stop. And that's usually where, and it doesn't happen very often. It's very rare. I think I could probably count on two hands the amount of times that I've lost in that period over 5 years or plus. You know what I mean? So it's a pretty good return.
Yeah.
And again, like with the one that I just harvested, that was a start of 5. 3 made it. 2 I almost killed, but then they came back and just went hard. So I did what I was intending to do by stunting them to make them strong, and then boom, and they did, because they're autos. But that's a tricky game, because if you play
Especially
with them
with
and
autos,
the genetics,
man.
yeah, you're gonna screw with it. But yeah, that's really the percentage. And again, it's a gamble, because like you say, you buy 5 seeds from some dude,
They're random seeds.
and then you put them in there, and 2 of them pop, or the dreaded look. Does that look like balls to you?
Yeah, that's a male.
That's a problem.
Kill it,
kill everything
get it
in your
out.
tent. And
Right?
yeah, that's a bad time.
That is.
We're gonna take a little break to figure out some more seed locations when we come back on Green County Podcast. We're back.
We are back.
So, Casey, would you consider growing? I mean, like, is that on your radar? Or are you like, nah, I work in a dispensary, I get it for free anyway?
It's definitely not free. Discounted.
Well,
a
penny. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Penny, 5 cents. My bad.
Yes, now that I have room and how much I smoke now, it would probably be smart. For sure. The fact that if you say it's easy, I would probably definitely give it.
Okay, it is easy.
Don't say that. It's not. It's never easy.
Well,
There is a lot of labor and
Ah.
time and all that involved. But as far as making it work and getting it, that part of it, it's very simple. And as long as you follow the rules and you're consistent and you're not lazy and you do what you're supposed to do, you're good. It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
So this is how easy it is. I chopped off the tops, like the top 6 inches of my plants to make some room in my grow tent. I just took all of those and shoved them into a thing of dirt I had just sitting there that had just been dried up for months. Poured some water in it, waited a month, and they are growing like magic.
Nice.
That's all I've done. I've watered it twice since then, and they're still amazing.
And
I got a new mother plant, I think, now.
We've made mention of other people that we've seen in the past that were just so damn lazy, like literally using soil from their backyard and barely putting any water in it, and dude was still.
I know that guy.
But you know, and that's
Cat
the
was
thing.
using it as a freaking.
That's like, you know, if that's you, if that's what you want to do, that's your thing, man. I'm not going to tell you how to do what you do. If it works for you, then that's great.
Yeah, we'll smoke my stuff when I come over, though.
If we come over. So yeah, always a great way to get across the fact that there's always a million ways to skin a cat when it comes to cultivating, and in this episode, finding your seeds.
Yeah, if you need more recommendations, you can hit us up at greencountypodcast.com.
I can't bust you for seeds, man.
Nah, bro, this is nothing.
Well, safe growing. And Casey, thank you again for joining us today. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, podcast, wherever you get them. Green County Podcast for life.
So that our children are obliged to learn the truth, because it is only through knowledge that we can safely protect them.
This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not provide medical or legal advice.